morning, guys. This is Pastor P, man, with your boy, man, C Phrase, and we want to welcome you to the kickoff of Brews, Broads, and the Bible.
Yeah.
I know what y'all thinking. I can hear y'all already. What is Pastor P talking about? Well, listen, on this program, we're going to be drinking great coffee, brews.
Yeah.
Women, we are not disrespecting y'all. We got nothing but love for our sisters out there. Listen, I got some daughters, don't you?
Yeah.
I got a wife, I got a mother, I got some, cousins, nieces, and so we would never disrespect y'all beautiful women out there, man. So when we're talking about bras, we're talking about broad topics. This is a show for men, by men, and we're going to be discussing everything that men are just into. And then, of course, see, my favorite subject, the Bible.
Yeah.
Amen. So listen, man, we're going to kick this off, man, by jumping into, man, world topics first, man. And the first thing is, bro, let's talk about what's happening. This is what the Oxford shooting anniversary.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. What's your thoughts on what's happening with all this?
I think it's terrible with all the shootings going on, the senseless violence. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's interesting, man, we were talking earlier, man, and what I found to be really interesting, man, is that, and I know there will be those out there who will disagree with us, and there will be those out there who will agree with us, man, but, they're saying, man, that, they want to hold the parents accountable, man, for their son's action. Man, how do you hold somebody accountable, man, that has enough reason to be able to decipher and decide, man, what they are doing? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying.
I mean, am I saying that right, man? How are you holding? I mean, how you gonna hold me accountable, man, for my kid's actions, man? I mean, he was 15 years old, man. He was 15 years old. He could make a conscious decision, and now I'm hearing, man, just even based on man, some of the reports that's coming out, man, that as far as in court, going through the trial, that the father made the phone call, man. He made a phone call to the police, man, and said, "Hey, I think my son, man, went into the house, man, took a gun, wherever he took the gun from, man, right. And he took it to school." Right. So if he made the report, I mean, was he not acting responsible?
I mean, to me, he tried to. He seen there was a problem, that his gun was missing or whatever, and he tried to find out, make sure if his son had it or if it was missing. But then to come to find out after the shooting, which is unfortunate, but how can you, like you say, blame the parent or someone else for someone else's actions?
Yeah, man. Yeah, they know better. Yeah, I think, man, it's interesting. Obviously, man, I'm pro-gun, man. I'm a pro-gun guy, man. I ain't ashamed to say that, man. I got a safe, man, man, with, various pieces up there, man. And I enjoy, man, the sport, man, I enjoy the sport, man, of target shooting, and, it's recreational for me, man. It's therapeutic for me.
Yeah,
man, we got, right. And we got brothers, man, in our circle, man, who as well enjoy it, man. They hang out with us. But I don't know, man, just to try to, man, like, I can't imagine, man, being put in that scenario right now. And the bad part is, man, they made the parents, man, look like I don't know, they made like they were villains. Like they was villains. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
They look like they were villains, man. And now that I'm hearing this, I'm kind of like, wait a minute, hold on a second. They called the father called the police?
Yes, called them.
So, that could have been any of us, man. Yes. You know what I mean? That could have been any of us, man. So, man, guys, what's your thoughts on this, man? What's your thoughts on what's happening, man? We understand everybody's not going to see eye to eye on everything. We know some of y'all out there, man, are going to, oppose our position on this. But tell us why you oppose our position. I guess I'm more so curious, man, to just see, like, how do you oppose something, man, when I'm being conscious, man, about what I'm doing and when I'm really making an attempt, you know what I'm saying, to do the right thing.
Right. And I would say just ask yourself this question. If you own a firearm, if someone got your gun, do you think you should be charged for whatever they did with it?
Yeah, that's a great question. Make a comment about that too.
Yeah.
That's a great comment. Well, listen, we got some great segments coming up today, man.
Oh, yes, we do.
We got some great segments, man. We got your boy, man. We got Lomax, man, with the lowdown.
Yeah.
I got a phenomenal guest today, man. I got my son. Mm-hmm. He's going to be talking, man, about, man, just his struggles in life, man, and where he's at now, man, and how the choices he made has got him to where he's at now, and he's doing quite well for himself. And then also, man, we got a phenomenal inspirational word, man, you know, man, from a good friend of mine, Pastor Ken Neither, who's going to drop some nuggets on you guys, man, about just staying focused, man, and just really kicking off the new year right, man, with setting goals for yourself. And we got some other good things coming along. So listen, you guys, stay with us, man. Don't go away. You'll be glad you stayed for the next hour, man. I'm telling you, we're going to have a great time with some great people, man, and great conversation. Again, this is Brews, Broads, and the Bible. All right?
What's up, everybody? This is your boy, Ryan Rutley. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Welcome to Beard and the Blood. Now, I got a message from somebody the other day, guys, and we got to talk about this, all right? Today's topic is going to be the consequences of the imagination. Listen to this note that I read, eavesdrop, and then let's talk about it. It says, I've been married for 8 years, and I'm happily married to my wife. I love my wife, but sometimes I get a different itch that I want some different flavor because of my imagination. I feel bad when I do it, but I just can't stop. What should I do to stop, as I am hearing about all the negative side effects of watching it? What do you think he should do, guys? Let's hear your comments. Let's see you type something. Let's see you say something. Because based upon this conversation, based upon his imagination, we see that he feels bad about it. Let me give you guys the definition of what an imagination is. The dictionary says that the imagination is the faculty or an action of forming new ideas, images, or concepts of external objects that are not present in the sense. That's amazing, because if it's an external object, that means it's not in the marriage. The marriage has all internal consequences, because what is happening between the wife and the husband. So men, anything that happens outside of your marriage is not biblically healthy. What you want to do is do things that are healthy for your wife. So if you got your favorite porn star, then do to your wife what your favorite porn star would do to you. Get creative. I mean, let's talk real. I mean, some of y'all are looking at the screen like, oh, wait a minute, hold on. This is why you are in this room, because we can talk about it, fellas. Now, just for the next few moments, really stop and think about what we're talking about here. Think about your wife, how you love your wife. Think about this comment. Think about this statement. I love my wife, but I'm uncomfortable of the negative side effects. If it's bringing negative side effects, then why are you doing it? Stop. Talk to your wife about it and get counsel if you need it. Now, that might sound corny, it might sound funny, it might sound fishy, but keep in mind, you're not the only one in this marriage. You're not the only one that has a sexual appetite. You're not the only one that might be struggling with porn. So talk to your wife. Get her involved, because accountability will give you different results. And if you involve your wife and you're saying, hey, babe, I need you to lick this, I need you to touch that, I need you to rub that, then guess what? Odds are you'll be in a more healthier place by getting your wife involved rather than sneaking around and watching this porn. What if your wife catches you watching the porn? Won't you feel worse? Think about it. We're here with the beard and the blood.
What up, though, everybody, and welcome to this week's segment of The Lowdown with Lomax and Ty. I am your boy Lomax. You see, I'm Michigan down. This is my partner Ty. looking the par, looking
Michigan
good over
down.
there.
Michigan time.
Hey, listen, we talk nothing but sports, guys, and without further ado, we're gonna jump right into it. So I'm proud of the way the Michigan Wolverines have been playing the last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Last year they went 10-1 in the regular season. Showdown with Ohio State, who was also 10-1.
Yeah.
And they went on ahead and spanked them up out of there.
Yeah.
They went on ahead to win the Big Ten title.
Yeah.
But they met Georgia in the playoffs, so we all know that stomping that Michigan got.
Yeah.
This year, 11-0.
11-0.
12-0. Big Ten champs again, 2 years in a row.
Uh-huh.
We got a shot at winning the national title this year.
Mm-hmm.
And on a collision course with Georgia again. So let me ask you this. You worried?
With Georgia?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a little worried. I mean, I'm a little worried. They got 3 tight ends, right? I don't even know it. I've never seen a school with 3 tight ends.
Right.
Right. Have you?
No.
Okay, so I'm worried about that. I'm also worried about the way Harbaugh is a little stubborn.
Yeah.
Of just constant, 3 clouds of dust. You know what I'm saying? We just go do it one way and one way only. So if he were to go in and turn on the tape, they got a lot of tape in Michigan.
Uh-huh.
You got all these nice jerseys. And all this.
Yeah.
They should have a tape. If he turns on the tape, he's gonna have to know he's gotta change it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Right. So because Georgia's gonna score.
Mm-hmm.
But we also can't look past TCU.
Right.
Because I do think that TCU, I don't know much about them.
I don't know a thing about them. They're new to me.
But
TCU,
they did have a Heisman quarterback finalist.
Okay.
Which means that they're going to throw the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That being said, are you worried about TCU?
This is somewhat like a trap game to me.
Okay.
It is.
Yep.
I don't know anything about TCU. I just know that their names are the Horned Frogs. I've never seen them play.
And we 7.5 point favorites.
Yeah.
I mean, this is my thing. I would hope that Harbaugh would try to practice like he's playing Georgia.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like open it up a little bit.
And the thing with it, with TCU being a throwing team, our secondary has to be on point.
Right.
Mike Sammerstill, the converted wide receiver who's playing corner now.
Yeah.
He's the reason that, if you remember the last Ohio State game, their quarterback, that was a touchdown that got caught.
Yeah.
But Sammerstill was there to knock that ball right out.
Yeah.
Who else we got on that team? R.J. Moten at the linebacking position.
Right.
Right. They're gonna have to really step it up. I don't know what TCU's running game is like.
I don't know much about them, but my only concern is that we don't start preparing early.
Yeah.
And changing what we do. Because TCU, we got the Big Ten. Big Ten is one way. You got one way of doing things. The only person that hasn't changed is Michigan.
Yeah.
Now it's worked for us, but when you get in bowl games, most teams tend to change.
Yeah.
And Harbaugh has a hard time with changing. Now he did it against Ohio State.
Yeah.
But if you notice, they still lean on the run, which kind of worked out because they threw the ball. But Ohio State, that game, I think they already lost. We beat them before we showed up.
Yeah.
It just, to me, on that game, it felt like, we had that game in the bag. Even though it was in Ohio State, I didn't feel too threatened.
And you're right. That Ohio State showed us who we always thought they were.
Which is what?
Soft. Defensively.
Well, I mean,
soft defense. Listen.
Now look now. Listen now.
How? Our receivers were wide open. Our tight ends were wide open the whole game.
Well,
the whole game.
Yeah. But okay, so Ohio State's in the Final Four now.
Well, yeah,
Big Ten representing, right? We don't like the SEC, all this, SEC guys. Let me get off topic for a minute.
Right, go ahead.
The one thing I don't understand is, I'm looking at y'all right now. I'm watching whoever's watching me. You live here. This is where you live. This is exactly where you live. You have the right to be a bandwagon rider when your team does good.
Yeah. Yep.
You got all these guys, and I'm an SEC man. You never lived in Ohio. You never lived in Alabama. Don't even know where Alabama is.
Louisiana. none of
You
this.
Nick Saban, LSU. We in this thing. This is Michigan.
This is us.
Go out and get you something with Michigan on it, okay? Alabama is not there. Okay, Alabama
It's not
is
there.
not there. Ain't you happy to say that?
Oh yeah,
They ain't
because
there.
they seem like they there. They right in the thick of things.
And I want to get back on top because everybody in Michigan, that I know, they always talking about Alabama.
they want to roll tide.
They want to roll tide. Why don't you roll and get
Michigan.
one of these?
Go blue.
Go blue.
Go
Go
blue.
blue. Okay, so back on top. So I just got me fired up. So
A lot of our fans, you already, and
Yeah.
I'm quite sure you too, when Blake Corum went down in that Illinois game.
yeah, that was tragic.
But Donovan Edwards to me has always been more of a complete back, and been showing. He showed it in the Ohio State game when he ripped them from over 200 yards. They didn't have an answer for him.
Yep.
Same thing with Purdue in the Big Ten championship. They didn't have an
played
answer.
good. They
They didn't have an answer for
They
Donovan
didn't.
Edwards. Now, everyone's aware of who Donovan Edwards is, and this is what I'm worried about with TCU.
I just hope he's ready for the big game.
Yeah, me too.
You know, I don't know that sometimes in this situation we're favored. We're supposed to win.
Yeah.
I just hope we don't look past. I hope we don't look past TCU to get to Georgia,
Yeah.
which I agree that could be a trap.
That's what I'm feeling like it's a trap. But Ohio State has Georgia first, and they play later that night. We played an early
so
game.
who you rooting for in that game?
You know, I want us to beat Ohio State again. To be honest with you, I'm not afraid of
I
them.
want a piece of it.
I want Ohio State one more time.
You want them over Georgia?
I want them over Georgia.
Really?
Yeah. I'm scared.
You will.
I'm scared of Georgia. I'm scared.
No,
I'm not gonna lie. I'm scared.
Don't be scared. Man.
No, come on now.
Don't be scared.
Come on,
Nah,
Ty.
we want them. I want them. I want them.
You want Georgia?
I want them.
Full
Cause see,
threat.
look, Ohio State. It's hard to beat a team twice.
Yeah.
So I want to flip that and give us that shot,
Okay.
right? So because if we play Ohio State, there's a chance we could lose.
We can lose.
I know people don't want to say that. There's a chance we could lose because you're playing Ohio State and you know each other.
Yeah.
It would be great for us, for the Midwest, but I want the Big Ten to beat the SEC
To take it away from them. Yeah.
because they frankly they've owned it,
Yeah.
right? You had Alabama, you had
Louisiana, LSU.
LSU, you had Georgia now.
Clemson a few years back.
Yeah, Clemson.
Yeah.
So, but the Big Ten, every time we've gotten there, we've gotten massacred.
Yeah.
When Michigan State went, when Ohio State went, they got destroyed.
Yeah.
And then we got destroyed.
We did.
So you know, I'm just wondering if so I was thinking about something. Like, so like, I'm not a fanatic, right? You know, I didn't realize what a fan was, but you know, you got some fans like me. And you got the fanatic. And so, you know, one of my last questions for you, as far as on Michigan, are you a fan or a fanatic?
I'm a fanatic. I'm Michigan everything. You about to like probably the next 4 weeks you're gonna see me in nothing but Michigan gear.
Okay, so now you know there's levels of fanatics. You seem like the just calm fanatic.
I'm like this.
Do you paint your face?
Now that I don't do.
Okay.
That
'cause
I
we
don't
know-
do.
Okay, 'cause we ain't gonna
but
get you didn't get me to paint my face.
No. I'm not paying my. But I'll
Okay.
tell you this. I've cried when they lost before. When they lost to Georgia last year, I was in a funk for the whole week.
Okay.
I was in tears.
Okay,
Listen,
here we go.
all my Michigan State brothers that was calling me,
You cried.
I wouldn't answer the phone. They even came over
cried.
just to laugh at me. You know what I'm saying?
So, cried. Well, I haven't cried, man. But I'm gonna tell you this: I'm rooting for Michigan. I think we got a real shot.
Yeah.
I think we got a real coach. I think we got some real coordinators.
Yeah, the staff.
Right?
Period.
And if they step up, man, I think we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
And I don't think this is it. I think this is the beginning. If he can win, man, I think we're gonna start getting those big time recruits.
Oh yeah, everybody's gonna
Outside of the Midwest. We gotta get out the Midwest though. Gotta start going more to the south, get some of those just fast speed,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
cheetahs.
Oh, absolutely. I'll tell you this much, man. With the emergence of Cornelius Johnson at wide receiver,
He's good.
when we get Eric All, the tight end, back, now they got Luke Schoonmaker at tight end, and they got the rookie tight end. I forgot his name. I just saw him for the first time last week. He caught 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
You know? But I believe that, Michigan is on notice now. To win the Big Ten,
Yeah.
you got to go through Ann Arbor first.
Yep.
That's everyone in the Big Ten.
I agree.
Yep.
I agree.
Well, this has been another segment of The Lowdown with Lomax and Ty. Until next time, I want you to take care of yourself, respect yourself, stay safe.
This is Michigan.
Go Blue.
Fellas, welcome to Brews, Bras, and the Bible. And in this segment, I'm excited because we got my man Jason, and this is Jason on coffee. I know a lot of you fellas out there are coffee drinkers. I know I'm a coffee drinker, Jason, every single morning, man. If I'm not hitting Starbucks, man, then I'm hitting, man, the local Coney, man, here in Detroit, Michigan, guys. Coney's a big lifestyle for us, man. It is a lifestyle for us.
It is absolutely
And
a lifestyle.
I hit it, man, for my breakfast in the morning. They always have my coffee ready for me, man. But today, we're gonna show you guys something different. As a matter of fact, this whole segment, Jason on Coffee, is about how to brew your own coffee. I guess really, man, is it the Jason way?
Yeah, this is the Jason way.
Okay.
This is going to be the no nonsense version.
This is
of how to
no
make
nonsense
coffee.
version.
No nonsense. Now it's going to be a little bit of nonsense. I got some unground beans here. We got our whole beans, and we've got our ground beans. I've got 2 different varietals.
Okay.
On the left here, we have a mixture, which is generally what they call a house blend. When you go to the Starbucks or whatever, and it's, or the Panera Bread, it's
Gotcha.
a house blend. That just means they took a bunch of old coffees and was like, put them all in a pot. We like them. So this one is a pure blend. This is a single source. It might not even be a single source. They'll probably be lying. But this is a coffee that is supposed to have the same distinctive flavor every time you use it. The house blend might vary day to day.
Gotcha.
So what we've got here is coarse ground coffee, because I like to really taste the coffee. I don't put anything in my coffee generally.
Okay.
I reserve the weekends for additives. Monday through Friday, straight black.
Okay.
So because I like it black, I want to be able to taste a clean, non-acidic, not too bitter cup of coffee. And so we're going to talk about what the different types of grounds. This is, again, coarse ground. You can get it fine ground. If you get it pre-ground, it's going to be fine ground. That does not work for the apparatus we're going to use today.
Okay.
So coffee will vary region to region.
Sure.
There are some coffees that taste more like teas. Those are called the closer to green coffees. So what we're talking about here, you smoke, you cook, you barbecue. The process that turns coffee from the cherry seed that we know, a green seed as they call it, to this, what we have here. Push in on this cameraman right here. Getting that? So what we got, this darker thing here is a process of roasting.
Okay.
So as you see on my right, your left, the darker one has been roasted for longer. Now the way they prevent this from burning, because anytime you roast something, you get to run a chance of burning.
That's right.
They keep agitating it while they cook
Sure,
it. About
sure.
400 degrees.
Yep.
This is more on the 15-minute side. It's
Okay.
between 7 to 20 minutes. This is more closer to the 9 to 10-minute side.
Okay.
Right? And there's a variety of beans in here, so if I mix them around, you may get some darker, some
Now
light.
this is the house blend.
This is the house blend. It's got a little bit of everything.
Okay,
This is
gotcha.
me mixing whatever I
Okay.
liked in the past couple
Now,
months.
let me ask you a question, man. So I grew up, man, in the 80s, man, drinking coffee, man. Actually, in the 70s, as a little boy, I started drinking coffee with my grandmother.
Okay.
And it kind of transcended. But, it was usually, man, the Maxwell House or things like that.
Right.
So would that be considered a house coffee?
That's just going to be generally their house coffee. They are not single source in it. It doesn't have a particular country of origin.
Okay.
It doesn't have it's really just going to be on roast level.
Yep.
And they pick a variety of beans.
Gotcha.
So beans have different flavors because they are cherries. They're going to taste like fruit. They're not
cherries. Like
Okay,
red
now let's go
cherries.
back with that for a second. Yeah. Okay, so explain that, man.
So right, they are, and we'll have a picture up on the screen, but there are a variety from, just like cherry tomatoes,
Yeah,
have
sure.
all different colors. They'll be from red to green to purple, and from the country they're grown from, they will have those flavors in them. So some of them, it'll say it has flavors of chocolate and nutmeg, and some will say it has flavors of orange zest,
Sure.
or some will say cherry jam,
Sure.
and all of those things. So we'll talk about that in the coming segments.
Okay,
But
good,
for this
good.
one, we're dealing with the coffee that tastes like what we think of as coffee. That's why I asked you, what do you think of when you think of coffee? So the thing we think of coffee is generally black bitter mud, right? But we can highlight a little bit more notes. This lighter roast here is going to have a little bit more flavor in it than this one. This is going to taste more like unsweetened chocolate or unsweetened coffee as we know it, right?
Got you.
So we're going to go ahead and do. Actually, we're going to go. We're going to start with the
Now,
house
what
blend.
do we start with right now?
We're starting with the house blend here,
Okay.
right? So this is the no measure method. What we're going to do is fill up the well till a little bit under the halfway mark. That's all we're doing. I'm gonna go ahead and fill this thing up here because y'all don't have time to measure. I got a scale back there. We'll talk about it, but nobody has time.
We don't have time to be scientists.
Right. So go out there. Go to you.
We're not trying to be scientists. We're just trying to drink our
Just trying
coffee
to
and
drink
get
this
up out of
coffee.
here, man. That's all we're trying to do, man. Get to work, man.
These are what is called a pour over process. So there are two different types of coffee. We're not going to talk about both of them. It's percolation. This is the type we're talking about. Your grandma's coffee pot, drip, drip, drip. It's time for the percolator.
Time for the percolator.
Right?
It's time for the percolator.
That is what this is.
Percolator.
This is just a manual percolator, not an electric drip percolator.
Okay.
So I have two types. This is rubber. Shrinks up real good. Right? This is metal. This is my favorite type.
You know, I was gonna say, man, because a lot of times people don't think that stuff makes a difference. That does make a difference.
It does
man.
make a difference.
It's like glass and plastic.
Exactly.
It makes a difference.
It
man.
makes a difference. The glass ones are good, except they generally come all in one unit.
Sure.
And I like this metal one, separate basket for me to put the grounds in so I can wash it easier. It has the funnel. I can take this off and just use it as a funnel. I love that. But the most important thing about this is heat retention. Right? Ceramics are going to retain heat well. Your metal outside is going to retain heat well. There are some basket versions that do not have the exterior shell. I don't like those as much because as I'm pouring my coffee, it's going to make a little bit of noise. You may have to, I don't know if the camera got me, but as I'm pouring the coffee, it's leaching from the exterior. This is a fine wire mesh. It's also going to be seeping out of the sides. And if it's seeping out of the sides, then it's getting air. And that's cooling your coffee off. So this shell protects the coffee from cooling. The same as this when it's fully extended. Because it's trapped in here, it's got a fine wire mesh in there and little holes at the bottom to percolate, and that's going to go directly. And the beautiful part about this style of coffee percolation, it goes directly into your cup. I don't have to get a separate apparatus. Whatever I'm drinking out of, it can go to. I could put this in peas and this in mine, but we got to drink out of the same one, so we got to know which one. We got to taste both. So straight into the cup. Now, as my water gets done boiling, we are going to pour it in circles. You really don't have to do that. It makes it taste a little
Explain
bit.
why.
And the reason why is we want full immersion. Before the water exits the bottom of the funnel, I want immersion. This is not an immersion coffee style, it's a percolation, but I do need all of the grounds to get wet and hot.
Okay. Because
you need to extract the coffee from the grounds. And the reason we use this pour over method with coarse grounds is because if you use very fine grounds, and you can pick up just little sections of it, right? So man, I don't know if you can get that, but the different size granules on my fingers are going to give you, the smaller ones are going to give you more coffee because they're going to rapidly absorb the water and expel all of their content. The larger grounds are going to take a little bit of the water at a time as it soaks into it, but it's already dripping through the bottom. And that's what we want, a cleaner, less bitter cup of coffee. The longer your hot water sits in the coffee, the more bitter it becomes. So if you want it to taste fresh and clean, especially if you're gonna drink it black, get it straight out of here. And also, just to dispel the myth, everybody thinks, man, coffee, it got to be black, dark, super dark, it's got to be strong, right? Strength is actually inversely proportionate to how dark your coffee is, not how long it steeps. The longer it steeps, the more caffeine releases. But the lighter roast has more caffeine in it because caffeine is a volatile compound. And the longer you cook it, the more caffeine goes off in the air as gas. So you want the lighter roast if you want the stronger coffee. If you want it to be darker, don't use a pour over, use an immersion style coffee system, right? And
That's
let it
interesting.
sit and steep.
That's interesting. That's very interesting. I didn't know that.
And now we are going to take our first sips of this coffee. Go ahead, P.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. You know. Now you can get more. We can go ahead and down this cup.
Oh, it smells beautiful right now, man. You can definitely smell the bean and the flavor.
Yeah, we ain't gonna be pretentious though. We're not gonna swirl it and sniff. We're just gonna go ahead and see, that's a very clean cup of coffee.
Yeah, very clean.
Not bitter. It does have a little bit of silt in it.
Yeah.
Because this wire mesh is going to let a little bit of the coffee grounds into it. Don't mind that.
Now you said it's not bitter. Explain what you mean by it's not bitter. Because I tend to taste
it's bitter. It's going to be bitter.
Yeah. But
Everything is going to have a balance, but it's not as bitter as it can be. It has a brightness where you can still taste the water. It doesn't feel like mud. It's not viscous.
No, that's very true. It does not feel like mud. That's right.
It's a little bit thinner, less syrupy, less harsh, I should say. Not bitter. It's not harsh.
Yeah.
You want bitterness. You just don't want it to be overpowering so that you're like, you know. So yeah, but also I drink black coffee. I don't add stuff to it.
Yeah.
So I'm used to it. Like I started to notice more of the differences between the darker.
It's definitely very, very pure. Super pure, man.
Yeah.
It's super pure. Like, it's funny because I tend to use cream and sugar with mine. And almost caramelize the sugar, right? Where it's almost like very sweet tasting.
Right.
And this is definitely, because I don't drink my coffee just black, this is definitely a pure taste though.
Right.
Welcome, man. You guys welcome my son, man, to Brews, Bras, and the Bible, man. This is our interview segment, man, where we talk to a man, just an everyday guy, man. Guys just like us, man, who are just men. And, man, we hear their stories here about, man, where they're at, how they got there, man. And we want to look at the average Joe to inspire you, to show you that you can do great things, too. So, what's up, man?
Hey, Pop, what's going on?
The usual. I'm always up to something.
Yes,
that
sir.
you're the old man.
Always working. That's one of the things, man. Work ethic is definitely accredited to you. But thank you, man. I feel honored.
Well, we are to have you. You are our first guest.
First
man.
guest.
You're the first guest. It's the first episode,
that's
man.
Pretty good.
You're probably the first one.
I gotta set the standard.
You gotta set the standard for your brothers and them.
That's it. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
so I'm
man.
definitely happy to be here. Flew in from Arizona. Happy to be here with you for the weekend, spend some time, but also work as we know how to do.
Yeah, that's what we do, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. So let's talk a little bit, man, about your life, man. Again, we want to encourage the brothers out there, man. I mean, obviously, man, I took you under my wing when you were like 9 years old. You didn't have your father in your life, man, and I think that was pretty much a challenge for most men.
Right.
It's a challenge for you.
Yep. Yes, sir.
And I just feel like God was laying in my heart to take you under my wing, man, and really kind of make you a part of our family. So I treat you like you was one of my boys. I have your 3 brothers, man, and your 2 sisters. So I have 5 biological children.
Yep.
And then I have, a slew of what I would consider, man, kids of mine, man.
Yeah.
But as far as like the ones that were there from the beginning, it was you. And of course, later on down the line, we had others. But now, I got your other brother Kevin, man. He's just a good kid, man, good guy, who's becoming.
Love you, Kev.
Becoming his own man, right? But let's talk a little bit, man, about your situation, man. Kind of how you, tell people your story, man.
Yeah, for sure. And it's interesting. I was like I was almost like your guinea pig, like child outside of biological. So yeah, man, it's full circle. Anywho,
wow.
But yeah, I was born in North Little Rock, Arkansas. Lived there for like first 6 years of my life in the projects, like typical, like standard black poor family, single parent household, all that kind of jazz that come with that. Young mom, not really knowing much, try to figure life out and all that kind of stuff. And then we moved to Michigan. I was like 6, 7 years old. She was supposed to be getting married to a guy that I was like, nah, he ain't the one.
Then you were 6, 7 years old, and you was like, nah, he ain't the one.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting, man? That you say that though.
The kids know, man.
Don't they?
They can feel it.
No, for real. No, that's true what you're saying. That's so true what you're saying. I'm sure some of you brothers out there can attest that as well. Because I remember, man, my mom getting divorced from my dad. Man, I was like 5 years old, and I can still see that whole episode in the kitchen, man, where they fell out. My father storms at the house, and I remember, man, when my mom started dating, man, my he's passed now, man, but by then my deceased stepdad, I just knew he wasn't the guy. And I tried to tell my mom, of course I was 9 years old, but I tried to tell my mom, me and my sister both were like, yo, ma, he ain't it. That's interesting, man. That's interesting. I've never heard anybody say that before.
I don't know. It's when people are in it, it's very hard for them to see. Like outside of just what they want out of the situation. Yeah. So then and then it's coming from a kid, of course. So, you know, most parents is like, yeah, you don't know what you're talking about. But it's just something we can feel specifically for people we care about. Like, it's just the energy about somebody. So turns out that's how we got up to Michigan, right? That's what brought us back to Michigan. And the guy, he wasn't it. So we ended up shifting, living in the hood again. Right, mom trying to figure things out, and just growing up a Detroit city kid, like trying to figure it out, man. I had friends here and there. Then I had the influence of the church, right? So the Tab was really big. Yeah. That was my village. Yeah. Right. So there were male influences, and there were people that stepped up here and there. But until you came into my life, I didn't have that consistent fatherly presence. Yeah, that was something I had always lacked. So I was real sensitive.
Oh, super sensitive. Man.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Couldn't handle criticism at all.
You couldn't handle nothing, man.
I was crumbling under it. It was like it's just like you never heard somebody challenge or check or anything like that. It was always a mother's touch. It was always a mother's voice,
which we need, though.
Of course,
we absolutely need it.
There's a balance.
There's a real balance there, right? But being a father yourself now, it's like you can see the importance of it.
Oh man, the hand is so like, and it's just. It's not even it's the discipline, right? It's the discipline to the chaos or the emotional side, and that kind of steers, it kind of guides, and it helped guide me. Like I was kind of wayward, didn't really know which way, but you kind of with grace, like you ain't bring the hammer down on me all the time.
Not all the time.
It was
a few times.
one time. Well, it's 2 times, right? One time. Me and Tori, that's my oldest brother. Man. Shout out to T Mayo, pastor in Austin, Texas right now. Phenomenal guy. We were supposed to be like putting together some stuff in the house. Dad came in and was like, yo, what y'all doing? And we was like, man, we just playing, we playing Monopoly. We was playing Monopoly. We was supposed to be working. We was playing Monopoly. He's like, y'all need to get up. It's time to go. And I'm like, all right. And then we wasn't moving fast enough. And he tried to take my head off. Like it was by the grace of God, he just nicked me. And I know he's like, dang it. But it was like them times is just kind of like things that help steer you and help you understand, like, yo, you jacking up, get locked in, get focused. So that presence, and then the other time, it was youth pastor. We was going to Cedar Point.
Oh man!
And they had jacked up the bathroom on the bus.
Man, y'all. Let me tell y'all something. Listen, first of all, shout out to all youth pastors out there.
For sure.
People do not understand, man, what you have to go through, man, when you're in the trenches as a youth pastor, man. And I know, man, because I was in the trenches, man, but even beyond that, I was one of the youth that was in the church, man, that was giving my youth pastor, man. I was giving him the business, man. That poor guy, I feel bad for him, man. So shout out to youth pastors, but you're right. Man, I remember, man, did I tear my shirt off on the bus, man?
Which now that you said it about your youth pastor, I'm like, okay, now it's full. I see why. You reaping what you saw. No, but yeah, you was like at the front of the bus. You was like, y'all messed up that bathroom, and I will fight y'all. Took his shirt off. It's like, I was like, Dad. It was one of them. Man.
Yeah, but we had a big youth group too, though.
Yeah,
And we had and I had a lot of youth. I was responsible for a lot of kids, man. And so, it was a situation, man, where we won't say no names, but some of y'all that's watching this, y'all know who y'all were, man. Y'all know who y'all were on that bus. Y'all know who y'all were. Y'all know what y'all did, man. But always good guys, man. You said something really interesting, man. You said, man, that that the discipline, man, and the balance, man. Let's talk a little bit about that, because I think that's really important, especially for men, because typically, man, that's the one thing I see in a lot of males is that there's that lack of balance.
Yeah.
Talk about that a little bit, man.
I think that it's almost a plague to a certain extent in our own, like, just today. Mm-hmm. Like, we look outside, we look at social media all over the place. Men are almost castrated for stepping into a role of authority. Yeah. Because we've been taught, hey, you're not supposed to exercise that. That's like a threat to feminism and all these kinds of things. Mm-hmm. But the reality of it is we've been designed to step into roles of authority because that's the way God created us. That's right. So when that's lacking in the home, like in my situation when I was younger, we don't have God, and we don't have direction, and we don't have accountability. I think that's a huge thing that a lot of people shun away from. And discipline is the key. Discipline and consistency is typically the keys to get to wherever you want to go in life. Yeah, so if it's a goal that you're going after, if it's just raising your family the right way, there has to be that discipline. That's good. To make sure that these things are in place, because the discipline causes the habits to get created. Excellent. So the habits that you put in us and the discipline that you brought, whether we recognize it at the time, and that's the thing too, discipline is not concerned about our feelings and all that kind of, like, no, it's like, this is the standard, and you got to meet the standard or pay the consequences for it. Like, we need that to kind of keep us. So you put good habits in us. So now, if you look at all of your children, that followed and went in that direction, we're thriving and we're having success. Yeah, that's really good what you said, man, because I'm laughing thinking about how, like, I used to, like, man, and some of y'all fathers gonna be cracking up laughing. Some of y'all men, period, gonna be laughing. Some of y'all women may be a little offended by that, but that's why this is a show for men by men, because only a man would get this. Remember, I used to sit in the window, man. So I used to make my boys clean up the same exact little shed we had every single weekend. Yep. It was always a wreck. I don't know. How was it always a wreck? I don't know. It just, like, it magically got back jacked up. Like, whatever we did. It was always a wreck. I never understood that. So anyway, the point is that I'd always make them clean it, because I was trying to teach them habits, right? Mm-hmm. Trying to teach them how to have good work ethic, good work habits, man. And so I remember, man, I'd always sit in the window with my little BB gun, man, playing Mr. Sniper, man. And I remember, man, they would just be stopping. And I'd be like, hey, what y'all doing? I'll get back to work. Well, sometimes I wouldn't say that. I would just shoot a BB gun at y'all and pop y'all like, oh, shoot that. But that's the stuff, though, man, that's also, I think, that really helped develop you guys, but it's also the stuff I think that created that bond and those great memories. Mm-hmm. I always laugh because I talk about the importance of creating memories with your family, especially as men, because as men that's so critical. Because brothers, we only have so much time on earth. Mm-hmm. The Bible speaks clearly about, man, us only being here for a season. And so what are you doing now? What are you putting in place now with your families? I know I talk to guys all the time, and especially, man, people who are more focused on the economic piece, which there's nothing wrong with that. Right. But, man, you and your brothers, man, you guys have created, man, financial situations, man, way beyond anything I could have ever done for you, which I'm so proud of them about, man, because at the end of the day, it's a situation where it's not always about that. I think it's more so about putting God in you, putting the word of God in you, putting the fear of God in you, putting the love and the fear of just being fair, being correct. What's a good word, I guess? What would you say? Well, I mean, we talked about fair this morning too, and the balance, right? Mm-hmm. Which. Well, fair. We said, fair, being fair. Yeah, absolutely. Right. Yeah. We talked about that this morning, and it's got so much validity to all aspects of life. Just understanding that, all right, the Word of God is the foundation, it's the principle, it's the statutes, like something that think about the word statue. It's something that has been there for a long time, that has been consistent. It's always going to be there, right? But I think about the aspect of having balance, which in a lot of ways it's like balance, right? When we talk about it, people want to say, all right, well, I got to juggle all these things at the same time and they have to have even amounts of energy. That's not real.
Yeah, I agree.
Right? That's not a reality. But also, as men, what we can't get into is that we just focus so much on one thing, everything around us falls and falters, right? Yeah. People going for it, all right, I'm going to be the millionaire, I'm going to be this, I'm going to be the best. Okay, well, you get there to the top of the mountain and nobody else is there with you. What did you really win?
Right.
Right? If you're dying alone,
right,
did you really fulfill your calling?
Right.
Did you really do what God has put you here to do? Like, no, He's called us to be great in the space and the passion and the talents that he's given us, but he's also called us to cultivate and build relationships and be able to pour it back into other people, right? Which I see you do all the time, and it's been a great example is that you're always giving of your time and your efforts, but you're still sharpening, you're still getting better, you still are driven, you still work harder than anybody else that I know, right? So, but you figured out the sweet spot, so to speak, of, and that comes with time, right? That comes with failing, and that comes with, but that's activity moving forward and seeking to honor God first, and then not just sitting there thinking about ideas, but actually putting in the work, pouring into your family. Yeah, you're gonna be exhausted. Yeah, you're gonna be tired.
Oh yeah,
that's what you're supposed to be.
That's what you're supposed to be. That's right.
If you not, then you ain't doing nothing.
Right. That's right.
You the person with the one talent and say, oh man, God, I ain't know. I knew you was a taskmaster. I just buried it and now I got it. Like get out of my face.
Right. You just wasted so much. Interesting, man. You were in the military. Talk about that a little bit, man. Because you said something really critical. I think it's really important, and really got a few minutes left. But you talked about, man, how we're here, man, to just serve other people. C. Phrase talked about that too as well. About serving other people and the importance of serving other people. How did the military help you with that?
Yeah, so even the military coming into my life, that's credit to you, right? You set me down. I was like 18 at the time. I was working two jobs, two part-time jobs, right? In North Carolina, moved from Detroit, moved to North Carolina, trying to get out of foolishness in Detroit.
Yeah. We had already relocated there.
Relocated there. So we were like, hey, you can go to community college or you can go to Air Force. Like, pick which one. I know you had a desire for the military at one point, right?
Yeah, I wanted to be in the Navy.
Yeah.
I got sickle cell, so I couldn't be in the Navy. If you're in the military, man, and you know a loophole, by all means, leave a comment. I'd like to hear, because I don't want to have a conversation about that, because I know I had a desire to serve the military, serve my country, but I don't want to get into my little past passions.
I got you.
Tell us, man. Tell us how that shaped you.
So active duty, Air Force, 13 years, stationed in Maryland and Arizona, a couple like deployments and assignments overseas. It took me from being very immature, very unstable, lacking understanding of finances, of life, of relationships, of leader, like pretty much the whole ball of wax. Like I had an opportunity to step in and learn things that I wasn't privy to before, wasn't exposed to. So it really, I won't say reshaped, but the foundation that I had, it kind of expanded and started building on that.
That's good.
And gave me more culture. Like it gave me more understanding that, all right, it's a lot outside of the box of Detroit, outside of my limited perspective. And I got to see people from different walks of life come together for a common goal.
Yeah.
And that helped me to figure, all right, this is how I lead. So it propelled me into the space I am now, which is what I think God does with everything that we go through. If we allow it, it's a tool. In the season that we're in, we're literally on a journey and we're picking up tools along the way to get to the destination where God wants us to truly walk into the fullness of our walk and our purpose with Him. So it helped me along the way.
That's good. Talk about your business.
Yeah, so I partner with a general agency out of Arizona. They focus on finances, and the beauty of the structure is, and this is the most interesting part of it, it's a general agency just like a State Farm or Prudential or any kind of insurance company, but they have a MLM style operating where somebody can come in from ground zero. There is no limitation on promotions. When you think about promotions, you think about working for a typical company. Usually you gotta climb the ranks, you gotta like rub shoulders with the right people. There are people that are potentially in your way, and maybe you never get promoted unless somebody dies, gets in trouble or fired, something like that. So in that environment, it's kind of like open game for somebody to come in from scratch, learn the process, and then get promoted through the system. It reminds me of the military from the standpoint of you have a ranking structure, you have leadership requirements and responsibilities, and you're literally learning while you're on the job, right? That I would say that's one of the bigger correlations, and it's interesting. We got leadership in every aspect of life, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
When it comes to work, you look at bosses and all that kind of stuff. What I learned in being in business and in this environment was there is positional leadership and there's leadership by influence, right? So with the Air Force, it was a lot of positional leadership. Hey, if you don't do what I say as the staff sergeant, as the NCO, airman, if you don't do what I say, you're gonna get wrote up. You're gonna get in trouble, right? There's trouble that comes with it. But leadership by influence, like ministry, which we talk about, like people are volunteering their time and their services, and if they aren't committed to the vision, if they don't see it, if they don't believe it, if you're not leading and keeping them encouraged, it's very hard to move people if you don't know what they want and they don't have an understanding why they're here. So that's something that has been like, that muscle has been exercised a lot in this space, because it's a volunteer army that we're building. It's a volunteer team.
That's good.
And if people aren't motivated, or if people aren't, I won't even say motivated, because motivation cuts off. Right? You can be motivated for a week. You can be motivated for a month. But going back to that discipline, the discipline to really go after what you want and stay consistent until you get it, that's a rare thing to find.
What if somebody wants to get in touch with you, man? How would they get in touch with you if they're interested in finding more about your company, man, and what you do, or even finding out more about it, so that they can become a part of something what you're doing like that?
So you can reach my business email, so ufinancialgroup at gmail.com. So ufinancialgroup@gmail.com. Also, if you're on Instagram, @afleet_unlikely. And then Facebook, Aaron Norfleet. You can find me on there. And of course, if you connected with my dad, you got a direct line to me. So you can always talk to my pops.
All right, man. Hey, closing thoughts you want to share with any of these men that's watching this today, man? Anything you want to say to encourage them?
For sure. I think anything that's inside of you, like you've dreamed about, you have a desire to see happen. Maybe there's hesitation, maybe there's doubt, or maybe you're like, man, this is wild. Like this, like it would be weird if I said this to somebody. Like if you got that feeling about anything within your heart, that is something that God specifically gave to you to manifest into this reality.
Amen.
Right? That is a gift. And if you allow people around you, your environment, if you allow your own negativity, if you allow your own second guessing and not trusting what God has given you, right? Because you think about all the things that we have, like we got fingers, we got every aspect of us has a purpose. So why would the imagination, why would the passion, why would the dream that God gave you not have a purpose?
Amen.
Right? So whatever that is, walk into it. Whether it be you taking the first step today, whether it be you just being consistent and doing the little things, whether it be you stretching yourself and doing something that makes you uncomfortable, every day you should be making steps towards that. And for each step of the way, which is something I struggle with, but for each step of the way, you want to celebrate that. You want to celebrate every little bit of progress because you're walking towards the purpose that God has given you. Right? It doesn't matter what people to the side of you are doing. It doesn't matter what people are saying about what you're doing. What matters is, are you honoring God with what he gave you? Right? And if you're doing that, you can sleep peaceful at night knowing that you're moving towards that purpose. So I would encourage every man, every person listening, whatever is in you, bring it out. Make it reality. because God has equipped you with it. He's giving you everything you need. He's put you in an environment where you can cultivate it and bring it into real life, to fruition. And it's going to impact many more lives past your existence that you can even imagine.
Excellent. It's excellent, man. It's excellent words of advice, man. From a father, man, to a son. I received what he even said. Listen, man, you guys always celebrate your boys, man. Always celebrate your kids, period, dads. Fathers, celebrate your kids, period, man. It's really important, man, because it's what's going to shape them into who they become in the future. And Lord knows we need our kids, amen. So listen, thanks for joining us, guys, on this segment, man. I hope this segment was a blessing to you, man. Again, if you're interested, man, in talking to my son, man, feel free to reach out to him, man. You know, we're going to have other guests on here that we're going to always showcase. And maybe some of you guys even out there in the audience right now that are watching this and seeing this, man, maybe you have a business, man, and maybe you've done some pretty incredible things, man, that we want to celebrate with you and allow the brothers, man, around the world, man, to celebrate with you or even possibly contact you. If that's you, man, shoot me a comment, shoot me some information or a link, or send me something in our comment section so that we can reach out to you, man, and get connected with you and get you on our show, all right? Appreciate you guys, man. Now we got a great segment coming up, man, with a dynamic preacher, man, who's going to give you guys an inspirational word for the day before we close out. And after that, man, we're going to wrap it up, me and my brother, man, C. Phrase, and we will see you guys next time, man, as we bring on another special guest for this particular segment of Brews, Broads, and the Bible. We'll be right back, guys.
What's up, everybody? My name is Ken. I'm the lead pastor at Crossover Church in Southfield, Michigan. And I'm so excited for the next few moments to share around this thought to keep on improving. I don't know about you, but every year I want to get better. I want to improve upon what I learned last year. See, there's no such thing as failure. There's only lessons that we learn in order for us to improve and to keep going forward. I'm a preacher, so I'm going to use a verse from the Bible. 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 15 says this: "Be diligent in these matters. Give yourself wholly to them, so that everyone may see your progress." Everyone should see our progress. Everyone should see that we are improving. You should see that you're improving. Your family should see that you're improving. Everyone that you know should see that you are better this year than you were last year. So I want to give you some practical tools that I believe will help you to keep on improving as men who can lead your family, lead in the community. And you know this, the hardest person to lead is yourself. And if we don't learn how to lead ourselves, then there's no way we're going to be able to effectively lead other people. Every year, around this time, going into another year, I take some time, about 3 hours, and I lock myself in a room. I get away from the house, away from the kids, and just spend some time alone mapping out the next year. Number one, if we don't have a plan, we are not going anywhere and we're not going to succeed. And so with me right here, this is a focus planner. It doesn't have to be this specific planner, but get something where you can spend some time in prayer, mapping out a plan and a strategy in order for you to fulfill what you believe God is calling you to do. Here's the thing. Everybody talks about potential. Man, I don't want to pass away and I'm stuck with potential. I want to fulfill the destiny that God has placed in my heart. So every year through prayer, I write down 3 to 7 goals in this planner, 3 to 7 goals. And then every single day, I look at those goals so I can continue to keep on improving. It measures my success. It measures if I'm lagging behind, but it's a reminder to me of the commitment I made to myself, I made to my family, I made to others in order for me to keep on improving so these dreams actually become a reality. So this is what I do, and I did it this year. One of my goals is I wanted to run in a half marathon.
For some of you, you're saying, hey, why didn't you do the full marathon? For some of you, you're saying, man, a half marathon, that's a large portion to run. I'm not a runner, but I had a goal in mind to run in a half marathon. But before I could run in a half marathon, what did I have to do? I had to have a strategy, a training, a coach in order to get me to the level where I could just not start, but finish the half marathon. And so I started out the first quarter of the year, just exercising, getting myself in condition so I'd be able to run in the marathon. The second quarter, I spent an opportunity and I wrote down and I signed up for a race to run a 5K race, which is 3 miles. Because if I can't run 5K, 3 miles, then there's no way I'm going to be able to run a half marathon, which is 13 miles. Once I completed that, 10K was up next. 10K. That's about 6.2 miles. And I was able to run 6.2 miles effectively. And so that let me know that the next goal on my agenda was the half marathon. This is what I know. Too many people start with lofty goals, but they don't know how to break them down incrementally. So they never know if they're successful on obtaining the goals that they have. If you want to lose 20 pounds in a year, that's 5 pounds a quarter. I tell people this all the time, that we have these lofty goals, even in our health, to lose weight. And we lose 1 pound, and you're exercising and you're eating right. You only lost 1 pound, and then we stop. But did you know that 1 pound times 52 weeks is 52 pounds? And it's because we don't have dreams. We just have dreams. We don't have goals and a strategy in order to implement the dreams that God has placed on our heart. So let me give you 3 key areas that I believe every person should keep on improving. 3 key areas that every person should keep on improving. Yes, you should write down emotional goals, spiritual goals, family goals, financial goals, health goals. You should do all those things. That's what I do. But here's the 3 areas that you should keep on improving in 2023 and beyond. Number 1, your relationship with God. Let's continue to improve our relationship with God. Can I just ask you a question? How is your relationship with God? See, there's no treading water in the kingdom of God. We're either growing closer to God or we're going away from God. If I could be honest with you, there's seasons where I find myself drifting, but then there's seasons I find myself pursuing. And those moments when I pursue God, it doesn't mean that everything is going well in my life. It just means that I can count it joy, that I have peace in the middle of whatever storm that I have. But when I find myself drifting, emotionally, I'm not healthy. I start to lapse on certain goals that I set out. And so how is your relationship with God? What is your plan for your relationship with God in 2023? If you ask most people, you pull them to the side, they'll say, well, I know I need to pray more. I know I need to read my Bible more. I know I need to come to church more. Then how come we don't do it? It's because we don't have a definitive strategy on our relationship with God. Everyone's relationship with God is different. God has called us and uniquely gifted us differently. So I can't really tell you exactly what that looks like for you, because I know what it looks like for me. And if you try to do what I do, you might get frustrated and vice versa. But one of the things I discovered specifically over the pandemic is creating rhythms that slow you down. That's one thing I do know, that we should create rhythms that slow us down. And that looks different for every single person. So for me, going on long walks, realizing I'm in God's presence and praying on the walk, that slows me down. And I know what you're thinking right now. I don't have time to do that. Exactly. We need things that slow us down so we can keep on improving. How much time do you anticipate spending with God? How much time do you anticipate spending in the Word of God? How much time do you anticipate you being connected to other people who are going to help you grow in your relationship with God? That's a strategy. See, this is what I know. Setting goals is calculated. It's not spontaneous. And if you don't have a plan, it's never going to happen. So I want to encourage you to improve your relationship with God. Here's number 2, and this is going to seem a little odd, but let me explain. Not only do I want you to improve your relationship with God, I want you to improve your relationship with yourself. You cannot lead others if you cannot lead yourself. And the hardest person to ever lead is yourself. Men, can I ask you a question? When is the last time you've had fun? See, this is what I know. Most men don't have a problem being responsible. We have a problem enjoying time with ourselves. We need to be healthy, not just for others, for ourselves. And this is what I want you to do. I want you to get selfish with time alone, doing something that you enjoy. Over the past couple years, I picked up golf, and when I was younger, I think golf was for older people, but now that I'm getting older, I picked it up. And one day a week, I go golfing, and that's spending time doing something that I enjoy. I never said I was good, but it's spending time with myself. There's sometimes I go with other people, but truthfully, I like to just go by myself. It slows me down. I'm in the presence of God, and I'm improving on myself. Not only am I improving on myself because I'm getting to know myself more, I want to improve on myself. I want to be a better steward over the resources that God has given me. Whether that's financially, whether that's time, I want to be able to allocate my time towards people that I love and to be in areas where I can make an impact. Starting out as a pastor, I remember people used to ask me, hey, would you come teach at my church? Would you come do this? Would you come do that? I used to always say yes. Now I realize more important than money is my time, because every time you say yes to something, you're actually saying no to something. And every time you say no to something, you're actually saying yes to something. If I say yes to this opportunity, I'm saying no to my family. And as I grow older, I realize that time is more important than money. But although time is more important than money, I want to have a plan to be a great steward of the resources that God has given me. And this is what I know. When I learn how to budget, when I learn how to be a steward financially, that's when God blesses me even more. As men, we got to improve even being givers. See, if we hold on to the finances that we have, look at my hand. There's nothing more that can come in. But when I open my hand, and I'm a generous person with my family, my friends, and people who are around me, my hand stays open. That's the person God can trust. Those who He can trust with the little, He'll bless with much. Not only do I want to improve my relationship with God, I want to improve my relationship with myself. I want to improve, here's the last one, my relationship with others. My family, my spouse, my kids, just people who interact with me. I want to improve that. I want you to map out your friends, your family members. What is your plan to improve that relationship? Who are some family members, some friends that you need to forgive? Who are some family members, some friends that it's been a while since you went out? What is your strategy to develop that relationship? Maybe there's some people you need to cut out of your lives because, they're not really enhancing anything in your life right now. There's some people, we were cool in high school, but 20 years later, we're just hanging on to memories. Doesn't make you a bad person. It just means I want to improve the relationships I have with others, because if I'm spending so much time over here, then I'm missing out on what God wants to do with me over there. I want you to improve your relationship with God. Improve your relationship with yourself. Improve your relationship with others. And when you do that, and you have a plan in place, and you write down your goals, your emotional goals, your spiritual goals, your health goals, your financial goals, and you pray and you put a plan together, a strategy together, and you execute that plan, and you keep on improving, the dreams that you have will become a reality. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. Hey, next year, I'm going to be better than I was this year. It's not going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it. And men, we can do it together. Take care.
Wow, what a powerful word, man, from Pastor Ken Neither.
Powerful word.
Listen, man, if you are looking for a church home, man, and you're locally in the Metro Detroit area, go check Ken out, man. I know him Ken for some years now, man. He's a good brother, man, good friend of mine, man, and just loves the Lord, man, and loves preaching the gospel, man, of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and loves people, man.
Yeah.
Loves people, and you can hear that even in what he said. And listen, guys, take the information he's giving you. Okay, he's giving all of us some great information. I know I'm taking the information.
I'm taking it in too.
You know what I'm saying,
Yep.
man?
Hold on to it.
Yeah, bro. You know,
Man.
because when he talked about, man, running that marathon, bro, I was like, woo wee. But you know what he said was so important about preparing for it.
Yeah.
You gotta prepare for things, man. You gotta make goals, set goals, man, and then aim for those goals, right? So, guys, take the information, apply it. Again, you see the information on the bottom of the screen, man, of how to reach out to Pastor Ken Neither, man. If you don't live in the state, check him out online, man.
Oh, yeah.
I tell people all the time, man, check us out online, man. Those of us that are online, man, preaching the gospel, man, and you know, man, that are doing these dialogues, these conversations, man, trying to help improve our world,
Right.
man. That's what this is all about.
Right.
That's what this is
Improving
all
our
about, man. You know. So again, until next time, man.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys, man, again, man, on Brews, Bras, and the Bible, man. A show by men, for men.
Yeah.
All right, man. God bless. See you guys.